Whirlwinds are these windstorms like tornadoes, typhoons, hurricanes, dust devils. They're unpredictable and they're unstoppable. They're able to damage the surroundings around them and turn directions with little warning. We'll often say that life is a whirlwind whenever things kind of come out of nowhere and they're spinning out of control, kind of leaving us bewildered. And think about the ups and the downs and the twists and the turns of Elijah's journey. I mean, fast forwarding from, remember the down and outs of chapter 17 last week and that drought. All of a sudden, chapter 18, Elijah's on a definite up. Right? A mountaintop experience. God smacked down victory, on Mount Carmel. Then in chapter 19, all of a sudden he's in a major down. Right? He's a runaway, fugitive, hiding in the caves of Horeb. And then before he goes for a roller coaster ride through wind and through fire, through earthquake, before kind of clicking up to the pinnacle of hearing God's still small voice. By chapter's end, there's another twist. Elijah is led to take a young Elisha under his wing. Kind of God's hint that he was not going to be around forever. And by 2 Kings 2, Elijah is on the literal upswing. Right? He's taken up in a blaze of glory, up in chariots of fire, up in a whirlwind. Right? Handpicked by God up to live in the glory and the perfection of heaven. But leaving poor Elisha behind to continue the great ministry, but it's still a ministry that is in this wild and crazy and messed up world. So how did Elijah ride out the ups and the downs and the twists and the turns of the roller coaster ride of the whirlwind of life? Well, you see that he always surrendered himself to God. He always obeyed God, and he always worshiped God. And he taught his protege, Elisha, to do the same. And I know sometimes life, for you is smooth sailing. You've got it pretty good. But I also know that sometimes, a whirlwind comes out of nowhere, with scary ups and depressing downs and unfair twists and painful turns. What are you going to do when the whirlwind hits? Well, here we are in 2 Kings 5, where we meet a man who lives during the time of Elisha. He's a powerful, likable, important, admired guy, right? He's got everything going for him. And his life is smooth sailing. His name is Naaman. We'll meet him in verse 1 of chapter 5. Now Naaman was commander of the army of the king of the nation of Aram. He was a great man in the sight of his master. He was highly regarded, right? Because through him the Lord of Israel had actually given victory to this other nation of Aram. And we go, hey, wait a second. Where is Aram? Well, it's actually borders Israel up here to the northeast, and it's actually in present-day Syria. Aram did not like Israel, but had to coexist with Israel, and so kind of like the relationship a little bit today. I remember when I visited Mount Bental in 2016 at the right there on the border of Israel, and I was able to actually see over there into the valley was Syria, and in Syria I could hear the gunfire. I could hear the bombs going off because it was early 2016. ISIS was at its height. Wanting Syria bad because that would put him right on the edge of Israel. And so why does God give this other nation of Aram victory? Well, because Aram is actually a cushion between Israel and the Assyrian Empire. The Assyrian Empire and kingdom is going to eventually conquer Israel. But God says, not yet. It's not time yet. And so Aram's victory is helped by God, and it's Israel's victory as well. So Naaman is Aram's hero. He's also, in a sense, Israel's hero as well. Naaman could tweet. He had a Twitter account. He would say, #blessed, right? He's a great guy. He's got good looks, good warrior skills. He's got God's hand behind him. Oh, he's got the good life. But nobody is immune to when the whirlwind hits out of nowhere. Check out the rest of verse 1. He was a valiant soldier, but he had leprosy. Leprosy, Hansen's disease, it attacks the nervous system. It results in brutal degeneration and deformation of the skin and the bones, especially at the extremities, like the fingers and the hands, the toes and the feet and the nose, and it's so crippling, and it's irreversible. It's unrepairable. Things don't just grow back. So for a warrior like Naaman to see the first signs of this is devastating. In fact, it's uncomfortable to see. So let's just turn this picture off, because it's hard to take, hard to see. It breaks the heart that people would have to live like that, with leprosy, or endure a school shooting, or go through that diagnosis, or whatever it is. But we look at life sometimes, we say that's not right, it's unfair. What do you do when the whirlwind hits? I'll tell you what you do. You come try God. When your diagnosis is in and the news is grim, you come try God. When your strength is wearing thin and the floors around you are caving in and the light is growing dim and your hope is giving in, you can do nothing else but come try God. And Naaman is going to get that chance to come try God, the God of Israel, here in verses 2 through 5. See, bands of Aram had previously gone out and had taken captive a young girl from Israel, and she served Naaman's wife. She said to this wife, or the mistress, if only my master, Naaman, I like him, he's a good guy. If only he would see the prophet who's in Samaria, in Israel, Elisha, right? He would cure him of his leprosy. Well, Naaman heard this, and he's like, I'm wanting some good answers and some good news, right? So Naaman went to his master, the king of Aram, and told him what the girl from Israel had said. Well, king of Aram, he's like, my top guy? Hey, by all means, go. I will send a letter to the king of Israel. And so Naaman left on this great journey. You know, and so when the whirlwind hits, you gotta go try. You know, I'm gonna go check out this hope that's in God. Naaman heads out from Aram to Samaria, and Naaman may not have ever known or even needed specifically the God of Israel before, but when incurable, unstoppable leprosy hits, he is open to taking a journey for answers that will come from anywhere, right? And the God of Israel is a God of answers. Do you remember how God answered Job? In the whirlwind, it says. See, sometimes it's in that whirlwind that hits you that God will have an answer for you. Right? In verses 6 through 8, he's getting an answer. The letter that he took on this journey to the king of Israel read, hey, with this letter I'm sending my servant Naaman to you so that you may cure him of his leprosy. As soon as the king of Israel read this letter, he tore his robes. He got all worried. And he said, what? I mean, imagine that. Am I God? Can I kill and bring back to life? Can I cure leprosy? No. Why does this fellow send someone to me to be cured of his leprosy? Oh, I know what he's doing. He's trying to pick a quarrel with me. He's trying to trick me. Well, when Elisha, the man of God, heard that the king of Israel had torn his robes and gotten all in a hissy fit, He sent the king this message. Why have you torn your robes? Have the man come to me, and he will know that there is a prophet in Israel. See, when the whirlwind hits, it is time to come try God. He created you. He loves you. He wants the best for you. He's the one who is able. He is not a dead idol or a distant deity. He's your heavenly Father.